So the United States beat South Sudan yesterday, and what was interesting is Joel Embiid did not play. And South Sudan's best player was a center. And supposedly our best center did not play. So it's like been an awakening for Joel Embiid, except a bad one, is that everybody at the Olympics has to qualify for the Olympics, except basketball players, men's and women's. Caitlin Clark apparently wasn't good enough. Joel Embiid should have been the first-team center. And then by the second exhibition game, you realized Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis not only fit better, are they better? I mean, that's how you select the men's and women's team. It's subjective. I hope this person fits. Jaylen Brown, MVP of the finals. No thanks. Derek White, fourth best player for the Celtics. You bet. Tatum's great. Doesn't get a minute in some games. But Embiid not playing, to me, is a sign the league is finally getting it on a world global stage. He doesn't fit, and in Philadelphia and here, he can clog up the offense. Now, some of this is, and he's got some really, really good skills for his size, but the NBA media tends to anoint stars, superstars, before they really are. Ja Morant's a great example. He's a tiny, tiny, thin player, like under 185 pounds. He's small, so what's that mean? You better be able to shoot. He can't. His best three-point percentage year is 34%. Gets hurt a lot. He's immature. I understand that. Players come into the league early, so I'm not going to bang on him too much for that. But the reality is I was told he was going to take over the league. He can't take over his division. Forget his conference. Derrick Rose. I was told for a year, Derrick Rose, this is the future. Again, tiny player that can't shoot. His career three-point shooting is 32%. In Chicago, it was 30%. This is not the 70s and 80s where slam dunks define you. If you're under 6'5" in this league, you either have to be an unbelievable defender, distributor, or you got to shoot. Joel Embiid doesn't defend like Anthony Davis. He's not nearly as athletic, doesn't run the floor like Giannis. He doesn't have the layers and the dexterity and the shooting and passing of Jokic. And although he has some qualities of Shaq, he doesn't dominate and win like him. We are seeing an awakening. People finally acknowledging he clogs up it. We've always blamed the coaches and his teammates in Philadelphia. But now we have Spoelstra and Steve Kerr and LeBron and Steph and AD, and it doesn't work. He's been anointed to something he's not. He's really talented and productive, but the regular season, he's a big body. People don't even want to take charges in the regular season. They get out of the way, lots of easy baskets, and his size and his ability, 8 feet into score, is going to get points and rebounds. But right now, he's a 30-year-old with a mountain of injuries who is yet to prove he doesn't get in the way with other great players, and he doesn't necessarily elevate others. The Sixers, as they've built around him, have yet to win a second-round playoff series in the East, which is like the Big 12 of college football. In the East, he can't win a second-round playoff series. And that's been 8 years. Young Celtics, dysfunctional Knicks, Pacers rebuilding. LeBron leaves Miami. Kawhi leaves Toronto. The East has been wide open for almost a decade. And he can't win a second-round playoff series? What you're seeing is what he is, productive. But basketball in the Olympics is something you don't have to qualify for. It's subjective, and people are influenced by popularity and production. This, to me, is what the critics of Embiid have been saying, and there's not many. Look at him with one coach in Philly, or another teammate in Philly, or now the world's best players. He gets in the way. So 2 years ago, the NBA media voted Joel Embiid over a Jokic as MVP. It was really an anti-Jokic vote because Jokic is a more valuable player. He's a better player. and it's not particularly close if you watch yesterday. But the league's stewards, the media, did not want Jokic to win a third straight MVP, even though he's hands down the most valuable player, and you saw it yesterday. It's why the NBA media regularly kind of chooses cool stories over the truth. And I think increasingly people want the truth from their media. But I think it's official watching Embiid yesterday where Steve Kerr pulled him off the floor 2.5 minutes into the game against Serbia. He is the most overhyped, coddled, and overdiscussed, player in the NBA. I mean, Jokic and Embiid on the floor at the same time, it's not close. They're not the same player. They're not remotely close to the same level of player. Beyond padding his stats, Philadelphia keeps running coaches through him and teammates through him. And in the weaker Eastern Conference, he is yet to win a second-round playoff series. I'm not asking for much, just maybe one Eastern Conference Finals. Milwaukee was all beat up this year. I mean, the Knicks fell apart physically. So did Miami. Can you win a second playoff series in the significantly weaker conference? The other thing is he's never played 70 games. Remember, his career started, he was hurt for the first 2 years, never played 70 games. We bang on AD, but AD the last couple of years is there every night. So you can't depend on him physically. And then you watch this Olympics, and it is the best players in the world, and he is an atrocious fit. He doesn't fit at all. And remember, the FIBA rules don't call as many fouls, and he lives at the free throw line. So you take that element out of his game at the Olympics, he's not only not effective, he hurts the team. And FIBA rules are good for bigs. Jokic is dominant, AD's great, Bam's great. Embiid can't play here. And again, when you watch Jokic and Embiid on the floor at the same time, they've given him James Harden. They've given him Jimmy Butler. They've given him Ben Simmons. Remember, Ben Simmons made an all-star game. And he can't win a second-round playoff series in the East. Jokic has never had a single teammate that's been an all-star. He's already got a trophy. And yesterday, the plus-minus for Jokic almost single-handedly played even with Team USA when he was on the floor. 81-81. When Jokic was off the floor, Serbia was minus 26, and he was only off the floor for a few minutes. Embiid, meanwhile, was the only American player with a minus in the plus-minus category. He's getting heckled now by French fans because he chose to play for the United States. My only question now, can you make trades during the Olympics? Can we get Wemby? I'll give you Embiid and future draft picks. Just give us Wemby. But we can officially now stop comparing Embiid and Jokic. Jokic is healthy. Jokic can be complimentary in the star. Jokic makes every teammate better. I was thinking about this morning. Is the only three players in my life that I've ever watched basketball that make virtually every teammate they play with better. Magic, LeBron, and Jokic. Michael Jordan was great. He took away shots from a lot of good players. Barkley was great. Steph's great. They don't always elevate every single teammate. Magic, LeBron, and Jokic. But this is more because we knew Jokic was great. And we knew, J-Mac called it, that Serbia would be a tough out. They were for about 70% of the game until the very end. But in the end, this is about Embiid. Let's not put him in that class anymore. He can't stay healthy. He doesn't win enough. He clogs up the offense. And it was all on display yesterday.